Welcome to today's video where I'm going to teach you how to meditate. And now all you need to do is find a nice quiet, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to give you that kind of meditation video. I'm going to give you a more realistic, simpler, easier, and more hardcore version of meditating that honestly has really kind of revolutionized my life and the way I just deal with everything, honestly. And now, while granted, you can just go find yourself a nice quiet place to sit down and meditate, and that's great. If you can do that, by all means you should. Doing that once, twice a day could be very, very life-changing. But I want to give you a different idea that honestly I think is what's really holding people back a lot. And it's that it's not just meditating when everything's perfect and when everything's calm and everything's quiet. It's meditating when everything's at its worst. When you're in your worst moments, when you're feeling the most stressed out, the most overwhelmed by life, when you're at your job and it's being the most demanding, when you're with your friends, family, partners, and life partners, relationships, however you want to call it, and they're being the most stressful to you, that is the moment you should try to meditate. And what is meditation really? Just to give you like a quick summary, it's just honestly sitting there, and you can think of it as trying to clear your mind, though a way that might be easier to think of it than trying to clear your mind. It's almost like you kind of just sit there and you just let your thoughts be. You just kind of accept your thoughts. You don't really like fight them. You don't really be like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking that. Or you shouldn't just like, you also shouldn't really be trying to just like endlessly think and like just attach more thoughts to thoughts. It's just, you kind of try to take a moment, take a deep breath, and almost like watch your thoughts. It doesn't sound weird, but it's simple when you actually get it. But kind of just watch your thoughts and watch them as if they're not even your thoughts. Almost like you're just listening to them. And it sounds very counterintuitive because we wish we could just clear our mind and just sit there and meditate and don't think anything for forever. But it's not always that easy. But something that's really easy to do that you could do anywhere, anytime, is to just sit there, listen to your thoughts, watch your thoughts as if you're an outside person, and they'll pass on their own. They'll eventually subside, they'll move on. The way thoughts like get fired and they fuel up and they keep building up is when we keep adding more and more and more continuous thoughts on top of that. But if you can just take a moment and sit back, getting distracted. I mean, I gotta meditate more. If you could take a moment to just sit back and just listen to your thoughts, then they kind of lose power and then they don't get fueled as much. And some other ways, some other tips on how to meditate, just listening to whatever is going on around you. Just looking around what's going on around you. Just feeling where you are. One of the first ways I meditate was a tip I actually got from Elliot Halls, where he says to basically find two feelings in your body and just jump back and forth between one feeling to the other. This is how I first started really trying to meditate, and it's like I could take the feelings that I feel in my feet, and it's like, honestly, I want to like put a little emphasis on this because when I try to describe this to people, they're always kind of confused by this. But I literally mean just try to feel how your feet feel. Try to feel the blood flow in your feet. And right now for me, I can also feel how I feel sitting on this rock. So a way to meditate would be, I start focusing on how my feet feel, and then when I start thinking too much, I jump to trying to focus on how I feel sitting on this rock. Or you can pick, any two emotions. If you can feel the blood flowing in your fingertips, you can start focusing on the blood flowing in your fingertips, and then you can jump to the feeling in your chest, and you just kind of jump back and forth. I wouldn't recommend trying to feel how you feel in your head, because that's sounds counterintuitive to me. So yeah, try that. There's a tip for you if you need some help how to meditate. Focusing on feelings and jumping back and forth between different feelings. Trying to sit down and just listen to things really intensely and just focus, really hardcore focus listening onto what's going on around you. Looking at around you, just really just trying to get present to the moment and just trying to see what's there. What other senses we got? You can smell too. Yeah, anything that has to do with your senses is usually really good for helping you meditate. Sitting back, feel, listen, look, smell. What's our other sense? I can't even think of our other sense right now. We're supposed to have 5. I'm only thinking of 4. Maybe it's not that important. So yeah, that's one way to meditate, in like a physical sense. Really just getting involved in how you feel and what you hear. And the other way, like I was describing, is to just kind of sit back and just observe your thoughts and just leave them be. Like almost like you're imagining like you're just listening to a radio station and these are your thoughts. And you don't be like, the real keys to this is you don't attach yourself to these thoughts. You don't be like, oh, I am these thoughts, or these thoughts are me, or these thoughts are what I believe, and if I'm thinking it, it's right, or it's right for me. It's coming to an understanding that your mind just has thoughts. No matter what you do, it's just gonna think thoughts, it's just gonna have thoughts, and you don't have to actually do what you're thinking. Just because you think something doesn't mean you have to believe it. The mind just pops random thoughts in your head. And just understanding that alone is very freeing. That's one of my first like real big mind shifts that I've probably had in terms of my meditation journey, is really understanding that just because I think something, I mean obviously you get the idea, just because you think something doesn't mean you have to do it, but also understanding that just because you think something doesn't mean you have to believe it. And it's actually a mind trick that we have by default, where we kind of believe to ourselves that because we think something, that means is right. And granted that right is such a like iffy term, but we have this like almost like natural, intuitive, just like brain delusional instinct that we think that just because we thought something, it means that this is who we are, this is what we really believe, and that's not actually true. And to kind of alliterate this, I actually have a story for you. Here, a truck going by. In my meditation journey, that story I came up to, I wish I could like quote and annotate everyone, but I can't remember everyone's exact details. But the basic story is, there was a man, this is a true story, just don't know the names of everyone. He started working for an alcoholics clinic, and he started being around a bunch of people who drank alcohol. And one day he found himself going home in his car, and all of a sudden this thought came in his mind, is like, wow, after a long stressful day, granted here, after a long stressful tiring day, he had this thought come in his mind like, wow, I could go for a drink right now. And he's in his car, and he had to like catch himself, like, wait, why did I think that? Because he has to come, now he's coming back and thinking he's never even drunk in his life. This is like maybe kind of a unique story, and his parents have never drunk. He's never, besides work, been around people who drink. It's never been something he's done. And all of a sudden he has this thought of, oh man, I need a drink. And where did that thought come from is when he's with the people he's worked with, he constantly hears people saying that they drink when they feel stressed out. That when they feel any kind of negative emotions, they go have a drink. They feel in any kind of anger, they go have a drink. Whatever that negative emotion is, maybe depression. I don't want to like go down a whole like dark road here, take this video down a twist here. So basically any negative emotion they feel, they have a drink, and stress is probably the easiest one. And he's here this constantly over a period of several months, and then all of a sudden he's just driving down the road and he has this thought in his mind, man, I could go for a drink. And it's very easy for you to think that because you had that thought, that means you actually want the drink. That means you actually really should go get a drink, and that's what would be right for you. It'd be a very easy thing to do. But he actually had to back himself up for a second and say to himself, wait, he's not a drinker. This is not really his thought. He's just been around all these people enough that this thought comes in his mind, and he had to make the decision that on that day he didn't want to drink. And another way I like to describe this is I like to think about like ice cream and pizza. I love ice cream and pizza, right? And I kind of describe this when I like to describe, do we actually have free will? I believe I already made a video on that one. I don't know if I uploaded it, because unfortunately I didn't even upload every video I made, but I'll probably make another video. No, actually I think I did upload it. I'll probably make another video anyway on, do we actually have free will? But like one of the ideas I like to think about when I question if we have free will is like, when you want to eat junk food, is that really you having free will? Did you really say to yourself, oh, I want to have I'm just giving my example, you can like whatever you want to like. I love chocolate ice cream and I love pizza. But when I want to eat chocolate ice cream and I want to eat pizza, is that really me exerting my free will? Or am I just having cravings inside of myself due to chemical reactions, sugar imbalances, because I probably eat too much sugar, that's telling me I want to go get more sugar? And then I think to myself, because I'm getting this feeling of a sugar imbalance, that I want to go eat ice cream to balance it. But I would question, is that honestly free will, or are you just letting your instincts tell you what to do and it's not actually free will, it's an illusion of free will? And I brought this up because I thought it might give you more of an opening on the idea of that your thoughts aren't always your thoughts. You don't always have to do what you think you should do. You don't always have to believe what you think. And a very freeing mindset is to just come to the realization that you're not always in control of your thoughts. Your thoughts just pop up in your mind freely. They come entirely from the outside world, you know. Unless you invented ice cream, I just love that example. You can replace whatever you want, but unless you invented ice cream, you only want ice cream because someone else invented it, someone else showed it to you, and then yeah, you enjoyed it, but it's still all an external experience, and it's not necessarily true to you. And all these thoughts that you're having, whether you want to drink, what's even the topic of this video? I can't even remember what the topic is anymore. That's such a bad thing to say in the video, but I know it just kind of really went off. We were talking about meditation. That's what we were talking about. Yeah. So anyway, you may find yourself, you want to drink, you may want to do drugs, you may want to play video games, you may want to eat bad, and you think to yourself that you're doing what you want to do, and that means you have free will and you have power over yourself. When on a deep level, subconsciously or consciously, probably consciously, you know that your addictions aren't necessarily what you want to do. You just kind of have this addiction to it, and you feel this like craving and this need to do it, and you're letting your body tell you what to do. And when you're having a lot of anxiety, is because you're letting your thoughts dictate your life, and you're not really taking control into your own hand, deciding, you know what, these thoughts aren't good for me, they're negative, they're not serving me, I don't need to do what they say, I don't need to listen to them. And not in like you don't ever want to be like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking these thoughts. That's the worst thing to do. The worst thing you can possibly do is to say, oh my god, I hate these thoughts, why do I think these things? If you do that, you're only going to make it worse. You're going to get yourself in an anxiety spiral, and it's only going to get worse. So yeah, coming back to the point of this video, try meditating, try feeling how you feel somewhere, listening to what you can hear, just looking around at where you are. It helps because I'm in a place like this, so looking around is calming. Maybe where you are, you're looking around, it's not very calming. If you're in a city and you look outside your window and you see people walking by and cars driving by a lot, that's not calming. That might actually give you more anxiety, because it gives you this illusion that you just need to go, 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 because you see people going. And right now, I guess I can hear cars going by, but I don't see anything, so you could kind of just enjoy the view, and you could be somewhere quiet. And you know, if you have to listen to the sounds, listen to what you can hear. Don't like judge them, just sit back, listen. And the other one was feeling how you feel. Simple things. Feel how you feel in your feet, feel how you feel sitting down wherever you're sitting, and just bring awareness to your senses. That helps clear your mind. And the other thing that I want to leave you with, again, just to recap, is also to imagine that your mind is like a radio station. And it just, because I gave you really a long tangent on how that actually works, but imagine your mind is like a radio station, and it just constantly playing just tunes and jams, and you're not listening to this radio station like, oh, I hate that song. You're just listening to the radio station, and you're like, oh, it's just on. And you don't care to change it. You don't care to do anything about it. You're just gonna leave it be, because as I tried painstakingly to explain, that just because you're thinking something doesn't mean you have to attach yourself to that thought, doesn't mean you have to do something with that thought. What you may need to do is just accept it, and especially coming back on how I started the video, accept it in the worst scenarios in your life. Now, granted, like I said, if you meditate twice a day, that could be life-changing for you, once in the morning, once at night. I'm not recommending against that, though I think a lot of people miss the power and the opportunity in trying to meditate and calm down in the most stressful situations in your life. Don't wait till everything's perfect to try to meditate. While you can't still do it, and I still recommend it, I think it's a lot more powerful and a lot more uplifting to wait to when you don't even have to wait. Stressful situations are going to come at you, problems are going to come at you, and if you try to sit back and meditate during those stressful situations, that's when your whole world opens up. That's when your entire life's going to change. That's when you're really going to learn to not be so reactive in emotional situations and to take back power and control in your life. That has been today's video. I'm gonna leave it at that because I feel like I'm just gonna rant myself in a circle at this point and just keep saying the same things I said already, even though I want to keep going. If this video was helpful to you in any way, please hit that subscribe button. And if there's anything you want me to answer, honestly, I want to get questions, honestly. I would love to get questions on this channel. I'd love people to give me topics on subjects, because when I try to think of them myself, I have a bias where I just want to think about the same things and talk about the same things. Though I know I have a lot more to like just share with the world and offer with the world. And if I could get people to just start asking me telling me what they want me to talk about, I can start talking about those things, and I may actually have a lot of good advice to give on other subjects that I can't even think of, just because, like I said, I'm just biased to think and talk about the same things. I'm not perfect myself. I'm just on my journey, and I'm just trying to share with you things that have helped me. And I've definitely been through a lot. I've had a lot of different experiences. So if you're going through something, please leave a question in the comments, and if I can answer it, I'll do my best to answer it, and hopefully I'll be able to answer it as well as I've done at this video, bringing a lot of different subjects. That's my video, because I'm definitely going into a rant right now. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, leave comments, do whatever you want to do. Enjoy your life, enjoy your day.